All right, welcome everybody. This is going to be a recap for this week ending on 1/31 of 2020 and getting ready to go into a new month. January turned out to be a really good month. This is a recap of all the trades that I made in our live chat room for the week. I do trade in the mornings and I also trade in the evenings as well. So chat room is open twice a day because they're both very good sessions to trade in. In fact, I really prefer night trading over the day. The key about the day, if you're going to be trading in the morning, you tend to do much better trading before noon time. That would be, that would be noontime Eastern. I'm Central, so I'm usually hitting my objective between 11 and 12 my time. So and then after that, it gets a little shaky. And then at night, anytime after 6 p.m. is a really good time to trade all the way into the following day. So I just like night trading more, but nonetheless, they're two very good sessions. And so based on your schedule, if you can't make it in the morning, you can certainly make it, I hope, in the evening, and you can do some trading with us. Good week. My first trades out of the gate. Again, pretty much what I would expect, 80%. If you haven't been following these videos, basically what that is I track the very first trade that I make every day. I start at 8 a.m. Central, which is 9 a.m. Eastern, and whatever first trade I take, whether it be in the Aussie, Euro, Pound, or Yen, I list that whether it was a win or a loss. And my very first trade out of the gate is still showing an 80% win ratio, which is really high. The percentages for the week, these are naked signals. Once again, if you're new to these videos, what that means is that we have patterns that are set up. They're basically, they're not your typical pattern. They're not candlestick patterns. They're patterns that I have discovered in the market. And whenever they generate a buy or sell signal, then assuming that you just blindly took the buy and sell signal, these are the kind of trades, these are the kind of percentages you're going to get. So right out of the gate, you're going to be getting some really high percentages. You can increase these percentages by using some of the methods that I teach in the course strategy. But nonetheless, this is a really good starting point to get you off on the right side of this market, okay, or any of these markets. What I've done over here is Aussie had a total of 93 trades in the morning, hitting at an 81% win ratio. This is morning sessions, which is from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Central my time. And then at night, I trade for 2 hours at night from 7 to 9. And we had 25 trades, 64%. Actually a little bit below average this week on the night session for the Aussie. But what that tells me is usually when it's slow like this, the following week is going to be much better. But still, very nice percentages overall. You know, 84 trades, 81%. I mean, those are crazy. Those are crazy percentages. And obviously, these are all validated because anybody that's in the chat room can also see these as well. So very, very strong percentages in terms of in terms of a trade being a winner based on our entries. The other thing, you notice my results have been coming up more and more during the week. That's because the pound has been running like in the 60-some percentile, and pound is starting to come back, and I'm seeing, you know, I've seen some days where the pound was actually 100% at night, and, you know, we're looking at 80%, 75% during the day. So pound is becoming a bigger player. So I usually trade the Aussie and the Euro. I've been finding myself putting more trades on the pound. So trading all four of these right now, with them all being fairly hot, gives me the opportunity to capitalize a little bit more. And so I've been going, and some days I go a little bit more over my objective, only because the setups have been really good and the percentages have been really good. The other thing that's interesting about this particular method is is based off of patterns, okay? And the key to trading a pattern-based system is, which is unlike using any kind of indicator system. But since these patterns are highly predictable and they will continue, and I said they will continue to be highly predictable because of the way this is structured. But what's also interesting is the win and loss sequences in a pattern-based system also have patterns within themselves. Why is that important? Because when you're trading binaries, you're not going to have these kind of returns trading onesies, okay? It's not going to be realistic. So it's almost near impossible to trading a single contract and to make money consistently trading binaries. You have to be able to adjust size. So what do I mean by size? What I mean is you start the day like I do. You usually trade in onesies, and then if you see something really strong, then you put a 2 or 3 contracts on the next trade. Looking at your win and loss rate, at your win and loss sequences, can help you quite a bit because they have patterns within themselves, which is really cool. And so using all these probabilities gives you a better idea of when to put on size. And that's something that I teach and continue to really stress in the chat room, is how to use size. Okay, so anyway, a really good week. Now, the other thing I'm planning on doing, because I get a lot of requests for people saying, you know, I would love to try this thing out, but they don't want to purchase a package. So what I'm thinking about doing is creating a second chat room. And I want to see if you guys would be interested in this. If I have enough people that are interested, then I'm willing to go ahead and open another chat room. And basically what that would do, it would be for those that just want to see the setups. So in other words, they just want to see my arrows. I'll tell you what, let me flip over to one of these charts and I kind of show you what it would look like. Okay, so basically this is what it would look like. And so it would be a separate chat room. I would have the 4 main pairs that I trade up, and you would see these arrows, and then there would be instructions that would come along with it telling you how I play these arrows. Not every single one of these are trades, okay, and I explain which particular arrows, or these are called wedges actually, which ones you want to trade. What this shows you here is it's telling you what you're going to be doing on the next bar. So this is not a trade here. Actually, this is a trade here. This is not a trade. But if you look at that little green little wedge up, it's telling you, once it prints, it's telling you what you're going to be doing on the next coming up bar. Now, these are obviously 5-minute bars. We have 5-minute binaries. And so what that's telling me is I am looking for a buy on the next bar. And you can see this was green. This is actually, this would mean a trade here. This is telling you to sell on the next bar. This is a buy, telling you to buy on the next bar. This is actually, let me see here. This is not a trade here. You would not be selling on the next bar, even though it did go down. You would not have a trade there, and so forth. So basically, this is what you would be getting. I would not be, there would not be disclosure on how this is done. That's all done in the core package. I disclose everything. Also, managing size would not be disclosed either. That's something that's designed in the core package, but it's an opportunity for people to at least try them out, see if they can get them to work for themselves, and just use these as gives you an indication of which way the next bar is going to go. Once again, the percentages are really high, so if you're using your own method, this is probably going to be a really good filter for you. If you want to know exactly how I trade it, then you would have to purchase the core package. But it would give you that opportunity, at least check it out for a good month. And then if you like it, you can either continue just to use this or purchase the core package. If you do purchase the core package, there is a separate chat room. That's when that I go with everybody that's purchased the core package, understands how all the setups and patterns work. That's where I go into more detail, talking about the patterns and the setups, explaining about how to adjust size, how some trades I don't take, some I do take, and so forth. So you're going to get a lot more information, and I think if you're considering doing this longer term, I think it's important to understand how it works, because understanding how something works is going to build confidence. Okay, so that's why I really don't like this kind of black box approach, because it's hard to stick with something that you don't believe in. But when you go into the core package and I explain why these patterns work, then you'll see there's a very strong logic behind it, and it's proven out day in, day in, day in, and day out that these patterns are valid. It is exposing a fundamental way that these markets move, and that will build confidence in sticking with the approach that you're trading. You're never going to get that with any kind of indicator, because they're all optimizable, and that does change from time. The problem is, when is it changing? And usually it changes the very next day after you've done your testing. So it won't work. But the beauty of a pattern-based system, and once you understand the logic, you have the confidence to stick with it. And also a big part of that is because it's pattern-based, you'll be able to use your win and losing streaks as a indication of how to adjust your size, because there's patterns within that as well. So anyway, if you're interested in something like this, let me know. If I have enough people that are interested in it, I'll go ahead and I'll open up that second chat room, and we'll see if that works for everybody. I'm sure it'd be a tremendous advantage to any way that, any method that you're using. I think you're going to find that the percentages are really high in terms of calling the direction of the next bar, and so I think it would be worth it for those that don't want to purchase the core package and just want to see these setups. But this is basically the way the charts are going to look. If you want to keep up with my daily stats, I do that through Instagram at Pro Strategies. So if you get on Pro Strategies, sign up. You'll be getting those daily updates. Also, if you're not on my mailing list, just go to prostrategies.com, give me your email address, and these weekly reports also come out via email, and I talk a little bit more about upcoming things, upcoming patterns that I'm working on, and you'll also be exposed to the dailies. Now, I wanted to mention that if you are just getting dailies, which once again does not go into explaining how the patterns work or how they're set up, then if you're a daily member, you would also have access to these charts as well, free of charge, if this second chat room gets opened up, and or if you decide that you want to try this weekly or this new chat room, then you would also get the dailies for free as well. The reason I'm doing that is dailies don't have long enough history right now to for me to really optimize how best to trade the dailies. Some of the dailies, there's a total of 10 of them out there. Not all of them are going to be my strongest players, and it's going to take me a few more months to get that down. So because of that, I'm going to throw in these this second chat room for free if I can get enough people interested in it. Okay, so that's going to be it. If you need to get a hold of me, just go to my website, binaryprostrategies.com, shoot me an email, and or leave comments or questions below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I come back in and take a look. And I'm looking forward to another good month coming up here. January is very good. I expect this volatility and this follow through to continue. I expect the pound to continue to heat up, so we're going to have more pairs to trade and more opportunities to make some really good money. So anyway, that's it. Everybody have a great week, and hope to talk to you soon. Take care.